Hi, this is Karl with Small Biz Thoughts, and today I want to talk to you about the relationship between the size of a company and the ability to give good customer service. Welcome to another SOP video. Let's start by talking about what I mean by good customer service. Well, and as you know, it's not really about what I want, it's about what the customer wants. Remember, customers just call it service. They don't call it customer service. So when a client looks at customer service, what they want is determined in large part by what you have led them to expect. So this begins way before you sign a project or a contract. Think about how you build your company and how you attract people to be your clients. You need to make sure that in your marketing and in your sales, you are completely clear and honest about what you provide, how you provide it, and what it costs. When clients have their expectations met, they consider that to be good customer service. Think about airlines. If you fly on Southwest, you don't expect to get good, tasty food. Actually, if you fly any airline, you don't expect good, tasty food, but you expect some kind of food if you're on certain airlines, and you expect no food if you're on Southwest. That's not bad customer service. That's simply giving you what you have agreed to before you bought your ticket. In your IT company, it has to be the same way. Clients cannot expect everything for the price of almost nothing. When we have tiers of service, for example, clients must understand absolutely, if you buy the silver plan, you will get silver service. If you buy the gold plan, you'll get gold service, and if you buy the platinum plan, you get platinum service. Now, a lot of people say, well, I give platinum service to everybody. Well, that's a great way to go bankrupt. And that's, in fact, there's very few better ways to go bankrupt than to give platinum service to everybody, no matter how little money they pay you. You need to right-size expectations so that you and the client agree on what you're providing, and they understand the measure that will be used for determining good customer service. Now, my claim is that as a company grows, it becomes very difficult for them to continue to give good customer service. It's actually sort of interesting. It starts with companies being very small, 3, 4, 5 people. And as you grow, service gets a little better and a little better because you can guarantee that somebody's available to service a client. That's great. But then there becomes a point at which, when companies grow to a certain level, the owner who made the original promises for the original company may no longer be involved in choosing the technicians. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to acknowledge that that separation means that the original promises and the cultural feel of the company has changed and evolved. So you have to be particularly aware of making sure that new employees, new technicians understand the kind of promises you've made and the kind of customer service that your clients are used to. And then you grow to the next level, and it may be that even the service manager doesn't know all the technicians. When you get to the point where there's a serious disconnect, a layer or two between the owner, the service manager, and the technicians, now it becomes critically important that you have documented your processes, your procedures, and your culture so that clients can still continue to expect the high levels of service that they used to get when you were much smaller. Now, when companies grow to be huge, thousands of employees, tens of thousands of employees, customer service is sort of a bolt-on. It becomes an afterthought. It becomes a separate department, which means it becomes an expense that from time to time needs to be shrunk. If your company has no service department, you are probably giving the best possible service that your clients could get. A service department is a sure sign that service has become a bolt-on after the fact, and that you have an entire group of people who get paid to spend money to make people happy. Customer service should be a profit center, and it should be throughout the entire company. When you grow beyond that, you are absolutely getting a lower level of service, and now service is something that costs you money. So as long as service is something that makes you money, you're probably giving amazing and spectacular service. So you have to figure out what's the line for your company. Where does service start? Well, it starts by picking the right clients, marketing to the right clients, getting the right clients to you. It starts with having the right products to sell to those clients and services to sell to those clients. When there's a good match, good service is pretty easy. It's when there's a mismatch, when clients think they're buying one thing, but they're really buying something else. Now your customer service consists of realigning their experience with their expectations. So if you want to stay profitable on the service side of things, it can be done, but you have to pay special attention to make sure it gets done. Now, here are a couple of tips that can help you as you grow. The first tip is you just absolutely have to make service a key piece of your culture. That there's a certain way that we talk to clients and how we handle clients, and everybody has to understand. You have to do it the right way, and that's true for everybody in the company. Second, and I know this sounds like a cliche, but it's absolutely true, service is everyone's job. When you ever get to the point where somebody in your company doesn't have to pay attention to service, then you've reached the point where service is an expense, service is an afterthought, and clients know that. A third thing I would say is to make sure that you build in service continuously as you document. Every process has got to include all the little things that matter to clients. Something as simple as setting up a new piece of software on a desktop. When you're done, the technician should sit the client down and say, I've done this, make sure that it works, test it, I'll be around and you just let me know, make sure everything works. When you tell me it's good, then I'll go ahead and close the ticket. As simple as that sounds, it makes the client feel taken care of. This is an example where even if a technician doesn't have great personal skills, they can still give great personal service by simply paying attention to the needs of the client. As your company grows, keep one eye on service at all times, because it will ebb and flow over time. Your clients will change, your products will change, your services will change, and even your technicians will change. But if your service is well documented and well built into the system, then your service will continue to be good over time. Comments and questions are welcome. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Karl Palachuk wishing you the best of luck in your managed service business. Oh, I've been told this is the point where I'm supposed to say like and subscribe just to make sure that I pump up my traffic.